you have a lot of moral grandstanding and an attempt to do lawfare on far too many of these fronts. The main problem was that they tried to do lawfare against Trump.
Yeah.
And they failed. Had they somehow had like a real sense of how they were going to do it, and like actually, quite frankly, a good case, which it sure looks like they didn't. And I don't blame the Supreme Court, balance on this, that it was somehow like rigged against him. I think that Jack Smith overreached in a big way in the lawfare against Trump. And then I think that's where your mixing and all the rest of it starts happening, is that you get a lot of sort of high dudgeon from Democrats about what Trump did, backed by a very weak case that looked like for a while wasn't going to make it. You see them piling on Trump in many different ways. And then I think it's pretty easy for Trump to like make the connection between his supposed injustice that he is facing at the hands of these lawfare people, the injustice that the January 6th people themselves are facing, which actually, they're pretty much dead to rights. And this is why he's talking about pardoning and all the rest of that and, doing it. And then more broadly, I think in the background of it is still this buzzing, this hideous buzzing of the progressive social agenda, which is just revolting to most people, just fundamentally revolting to most people. So you mix all those three together and then like wave your hands. And I don't know, for someone, it makes perfect sense to me how this sort of perfect storm ends up being. Because I think this is just, you're talking about like intellectual empathy and how like basically people come to this sort of stuff. It makes perfect sense. It's bad politics mixed with a kind of righteousness unleavened by realpolitik on the part of the Democrats. You know what I mean? Like they had a theory of right, they had no theory of victory. And they on some level, that dumb phrase of Obama's, I think, still rattling in their head about the arc of history bending toward justice or whatever, because they have a theory of what is just, what is right, and they just believe it. And they have no sense of politics, an idea of how to do things, and they are reaping the whirlwind right now. They have gotten the shit kicked out of them, and our country is suffering for it.